A lot of us are in these situationships, relationships that seem like love. But when we look a little bit deeper, we can see that there's a lot of trauma build up in the woman. There's a lot of trauma going on in the man. And the thing that actually connected them was not love. It was their pain. Now, what is a trauma bond? Trauma bonding is an unhealthy attachment to someone who causes you physical or emotional harm. It looks like love because you might feel the same chemicals in your body, the strong attractions, the butterflies, but it's not love. You bonded over deep-rooted trauma. When we speak about a trauma bond, usually there's one abuser in the situation and one victim. A good example of that would be the narcissist and the empath. And these two are opposites from each other, right? You think the narcissist just needs the empath, the victim in this case, but no, the empath usually needs the narcissist because in both people there is a lack. There is usually a lack of love, and there's usually a lack of self-worth, self-respect. There's a lot of unresolved trauma in both people, and their whole relationship, their dynamic is built on their trauma. They constantly trigger each other. Trauma bonding is not always just in worst cases with a narcissistic relationship. A lot of the time, and a lot of us are actually in relationships that are trauma bonds and not real love, because we connected with each other through our wounds, through our trauma, through the lack that we have or may feel. Your attachment to him or her is going to be just through that trauma. Now, what also amplifies this, of course, are the movies that we have. In most movies, especially romantic movies, most of them are based on trauma bonding. Because what do we see? We see a lot of fighting and making up. We see a lot of yelling, cursing, and making up. And so it programmed us to think that, oh, this is a healthy relationship. I should be fighting. I should be screaming. This is what love is about. This is passionate, right? What you see in these movies a lot of the times is a trauma bond. Now, with a trauma bond, your partner mirrors the patterns of your childhood and past experiences. You seek in your partner what you lack within yourself, or that partner triggers you and you experience that same feeling associated with that trauma. For a lot of men and women, especially in the Black community, this was a lack of fatherly love growing up, a lack of emotional or physical presence in the home. This may result in abandonment wounds, lack of self-worth, and constant seeking for love and validation in our partner. It may also result in closing yourself off completely, not trusting your partner, not letting love in at all. Now, with a trauma bond, your state of mind will be fix, save, and validate my existence. With true love, you are grounded within yourself and the relationship. So there's no need for the other person to fix you or to save you or to validate you all the time. In a trauma bond, the relationship usually is very physical. It's usually based on a physical and relationship. This is also what keeps the relationship tied together. There is a very strong physical attraction. Okay, and this is where we get confused because we think that this is love. My body is telling me this is love because I have all these butterflies inside. I have this passion inside, I'm so attracted to this person. And we think that's love. That is chemistry and that is lust. That is not love. Especially us women, but sometimes men too. We associate these feelings with love. Oh, I feel this type of way about this man. So this is love. This is where our feelings sometimes confuse us. Even when we're talking about an unhealthy relationship, a toxic relationship, there is a lot of chemistry there. There is a strong physical attraction. Usually the relationship is lacking emotionally and also intellectually. Another sign that you guys might be trauma bonding is that the relationship has a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of fighting in a relationship, and you guys might have a great week or a few days, and afterwards you guys go back to fighting. There's all this drama. Most of the relationship, I should say, is in the low state, and sometimes you have this up moment, and this is like a true sign of a trauma bond relationship. This is also the misconception I think that we all have, or a lot of us have, regarding love. We think that love is so painful and it's suffering, but love shouldn't be like that. Of course every relationship has fights, but it should be peaceful. Love is peaceful. Love is uplifting. Love should bring you joy and happiness. Love should enhance your life, not make your life worse. You know what I mean? You shouldn't feel worse now that you are in a relationship. You should feel elevated. So usually with the trauma bond, there's no stability. It's very up and down, right? And both people feel it. So in a narcissistic relationship, the narcissist is causing this, right? This cycle and of breaking and making up, creating this positive reinforcement all the time, so that the other person, the partner, never breaks free. But even in other dynamics, I should say that usually one person or both people cannot let go. You cannot let go. How toxic the situation is, for some reason, you have this tie to this person and you don't want to let go. I think about a person all the time. This is love. This is what love feels like. I cannot live without him or her. But it's the attachments you cannot live without. That is the bond. That is the connection. It is a soul tie. It is an entanglement. You entangled, you melted with the wrong person. And that's why, guys, it's so important to be mindful who you connect yourself with, who you are intimate with. Because ending up with the wrong person creates all of this. And if you ever been in this situation, leave a comment down below, but you cannot let this person go. It's very hard to let that person go. It can take months, years, okay, to let that person go. Usually until you cannot take it anymore, or you heal that trauma within yourself, it's only then that you can let this person go. Now, what is real love? Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It's not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. True love is not fighting. True love is not yelling. True love is not hurting each other. True love is not crying yourself to sleep every night. True love is not chaos. True love is peaceful. What is the definition of true love for me? I definitely went through trauma bonds and unhealthy relationships before. And sometimes what I thought was love was not love. It was unresolved trauma. And it was me not loving myself. It's not about how do I feel with this person. Do I feel this chemistry with this person, right? Do I think about this person all the time? Do I have these butterflies? What I learned in my journey is that true love is choosing each other over and over again. It's a commitment because feelings will change, they will come and go. Seasons will change, but if you choose to love each other, you can withstand the storm. Always standing firm and strong as husband and wife, and not letting other people break the union, interfere with the union. What therefore God has joined together, let no man separate. Remember that one. What therefore God has joined together, let no man separate. They choose each other over and over again. That's true love to me. After hearing this, I'm very curious to know if you guys currently are in a trauma bond or if you think you're actually in a real, true connection. Let me also know in the comments what your definition of true love is, real love is. Have you experienced it? And how do you think love should look? I'm very curious. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys soon.